Hello, it's Alarmix and I welcome you to my channel. As you can tell from the title, we are going to be going over this gun combo that I've recently come across. It is a gun combo featuring the Flatline. There are obviously so many combos that you can be using in this game, but I really think that as of now, the Flatline paired with a different gun is the best in the entire game. I kind of went over the Flatline in a previous video, but I really wanted to go over it again and be more specific with what guns you should be using it with. Ever since they buffed the damage at the beginning of Season 2, I think that it has been a top weapon in the game. They took the base body damage on the Flatline from 16 to 19, which means that the Flatline now has a higher damage per second than the R301. The Flatline just used to be kind of a filler gun in the game, and you kind of avoided picking it up, but that's not the case anymore. I really think that this gun is a top tier gun in the entire game, and you guys should be using it in the gun combo that I'm about to show you. So let's get into it. So this video isn't all about the Flatline, but what gun you should be pairing with it to make it, in my opinion, one of the top guns in the game. In my opinion, when you're using the Flatline, you should really be focusing on getting into close range gunfights. The Flatline has some tricky recoil, which we can get into soon, so you really shouldn't be acting like it is as accurate as something like, say, the R301. So say when you get into that close range gunfight with the Flatline and your magazine runs out, you want something you can swap over to and burn the enemy in close range. A great example of a gun that I'm talking about is the R99. Say you are even in a mid-range gunfight with a Flatline and you do some decent damage, you could swap over to the R99, close the distance a little bit more, and finish off your enemy. Even if you are in a close range gunfight to start off with, and you choose the R99, when your mag runs out, the Flatline is an excellent gun to swap over to. Some people think that if you have an R99 for close range, that you need some secondary strictly for long range, like for example the longbow. In my opinion, when you have the Flatline, you should choose a gun that will work in a similar range that it does. Because when you are in a game of Apex Legends, you do in fact have mostly of a choice of how far you want to be away from your enemies. So with the Flatline, you should choose to be in close range where it fares best, and choose a gun that can complement it in close range. You can use any gun with the Flatline that is designed for close range, such as the Peacekeeper or the Mastiff if you can find it. But let's say you want to take more advantage of the Flatline's close range capabilities. I think a gun that pairs well with the Flatline that would allow you to do that is the R301. I have paired the Flatline and the R301 together whenever I'm not able to find an R99. And for me, the R301 Flatline has been a pretty beast of a weapon combo. When I am forced to fight at medium range, I pull out the R301 to shoot, but when I get an opportunity to fight at close range, I'm always pulling out the Flatline. The Flatline compared to the R99 has a much slower fire rate, and so the Flatline only does about 190 damage per second, compared to the R99 at 216 damage per second. The one advantage the Flatline really has over the R99 is that the mag capacity is way better. The R99 does 12 damage per body hit, but the Flatline does 19 damage per body hit. And the purple clip on the R99 holds 28 bullets, and the Flatline holds 30 bullets in the purple clip. This means that in close range, the Flatline has a much bigger chance to kill your enemy before you have to reload, versus the R99. And even if you do run out of bullets in close range, I have found that the R301 is pretty godly when hip firing. So to sum up the Flatline R301 combo, you should use the Flatline like an SMG and the R301 at range. A point that I have to make is that the Flatline is not really a super easy gun to use. It is what you can call a high skill, high reward gun. Like the Peacekeeper, you have to know how to use it. Something that I would suggest to help ease you into using this gun, if you haven't used it a lot, is always using the same reticles. I would not recommend using anything above a 1x zoom on this gun. Maybe if you are running the R99 with it and you need the Flatline to work a little bit more at range, you could try a 2x sight, but I would still not recommend it. The best reticle for this gun is probably the 1x hollow. I have found that even in my time learning how to use this gun, the 1x hollow has really helped me best develop and learn how to control the recoil on the Flatline. Another thing that will help you with just learning how to use this gun is just practicing in training mode. The Flatline has a sort of lightning recoil pattern, where it goes straight up and then diagonally towards the bottom, which can make the recoil feel uncontrollable. So today, I don't have any sort of recoil pattern for you to follow to get rid of the recoil on the Flatline. You should just go into the training mode and figure it out for yourself. And believe me, shooting any gun of any kind in training mode will help you get way better, way quicker than just jumping into another Apex match. You guys don't have to, but if it interests you, you should. One of my last tips on how to use the Flatline may or may not surprise you, because I really didn't know about this one until pretty recently. Just like with the Hemlock in Apex, you can use the Flatline in single fire mode, and you guys better bet it is useful. The Hemlock and the Flatline actually have a lot in common. They do just about the same damage and take the same ammunition, and they both have a little bit of that jumpy recoil. But they have two things that really set them apart. The first is the fire rate. The Hemlock in burst mode shoots so much slower than the Flatline. And the second thing that really sets them apart is the damage per shot that they both do. The Hemlock actually does 18 damage per body hit, and the Flatline does 19 damage per body hit. So the semi-auto Flatline is pretty much just a better semi-auto Hemlock. So if you really like the semi-auto Hemlock, I strongly recommend the semi-auto Flatline. Just a disclaimer though, the Flatline will have a little bit more recoil than the Hemlock in semi-auto mode, but I don't think that you guys should be using the Flatline in semi-auto mode too often. I think that the only time you should be using it is when you have the Flatline paired with the R99 and you are forced to fight at long range. I think with that versatility and that close range obliteration makes the Flatline R99 the best gun combo in the entire game. If you want to know how to use the R99 to your own true potential, I'm going to be putting a card in the top right hand corner of your screen that will be linked to a video that I made on how to abuse the R99 if you haven't seen it yet. I'm going to be playing a little bit more gameplay on screen. Maybe you can learn a little bit from that. If you want to, I surely invite you to stick around for it. But anyways, that will wrap it up for the commentary. I really hope that you learned something from the video. I really think that if you can apply the Flatline to your game, it can really help you get more wins in Apex Legends. Peace out, my friends.